Well, hello, and welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. I am Keena B, and I thank you for joining me today. As promised, this is the final part 3 of the interview with Denzel Godwire. Today we are discussing DC Comics because he is a big old DC Comics fan. But first, into the news. So, USAID, or known as USAID, is being cut by 90%. Several federal employees were laid off, and they had 15-minute increments to go and grab their personal belongings outside of the building in DC. And then around the world, several people have been laid off, no longer employed. Contractors no longer employed. Programs like vaccine trials have been halted in places like South Africa and so on. And it is reported to be the first of many cuts, according to the reports from several news sources, the AP, CNN, CBS, MSNBC, all of those news sources. The only one not reporting on it is Fox News. At least they're not reporting on it the same way everyone else is. As a matter of fact, because I always scroll to see who is reporting on it. BBC News is reporting on it. International news sources are, of course, reporting on it. And also domestic, right? Like currently, as of today, the last time that I looked, they were reporting on it. But the last time Fox News reported on it was like 3 weeks ago. The 2 weeks ago at the very latest. Instead of reporting on it today, as employees were being allowed to go in to get their things, they actually focused their energy on the disagreement, argument that Zelensky and Trump had at the White House during their meeting. So there's a whole lot of things going on all at once. Just so to pay attention. There was also the day that I'm recording this is February 28th. It's the last day of February. And there was supposed to be a blackout boycott of boycotting major franchises and businesses that are not startup small businesses and black owned. So everything but those startups, black businesses, black owned businesses, and small businesses was supposed to be boycott. Simultaneously, Trump and J.D. Vance have this media fallout with President Zelensky, on national television. And then also those employees are being laid off and given, and I'm sure there were several other things going on. Also at the same time, I think there was a congressional hearing happening today as well. Just a lot of things going on at once. So what's the point? A lot of things are changing. The Elon Musk and Trump are actively, the plan is, this is what's being reported again by the news sites, that to dwindle down what they feel are unnecessary programs and departments within the federal government. So they're doing what, Republicans have always wanted. They're making government smaller. I think because whether you care or not, the majority of the elected population, the majority vote of the voters that voted for Trump. Okay. And that includes federal employees. That number includes federal employees. I genuinely think that they didn't think about the long the full picture when they made the vote that they made. However, I also genuinely think that people are willing to sacrifice their own careers and livelihoods for this ideal that they believe will happen based on Trump being in office. Like, there's this propaganda going on where it makes it appear as if, they are regretting their decision, but it's not necessarily true. Are some people regretting their decision? Yes, but particularly only if it impacts them. So once their decision starts to impact them negatively, then I believe people start to regret it, or at least they start having second thoughts or doubts. But overwhelmingly, there are many people who will never be impacted by this. People who are, people other the federal government employees. They other them because, the majority of the U.S. population does not work for the federal government. They work for either state or private industries. So they're not impacted by the fact, they're not directly impacted by the fact that federal government and employees and contractors are being laid off. And so as long as they're not impacted, they're going to consider the steps that are being taken as fine. But even there are some who, even if they are impacted, that truly feel like it's what they need to sacrifice in order to, the ends justifies the means type of situation. The unfortunate thing about that is they don't know what the ends is. They think that the ends is whatever they picture in their mind as the promised land, quote unquote, the promised land, not realizing that whatever they are considering to be the quote unquote promised land is not the same as what President Trump is considering the quote unquote promised land. You guys have two different ideas, and this is not going to end how you think. Where is that from? There's a movie where it's, I think the Hunger Games. Yes, that's where I'm getting it from. It's probably been said. Oh, it's also in Marvel. Isn't that funny? They've said it in a lot of movies, as a matter of fact, but it's always someone telling, like, it's an older person or someone with a little bit more wisdom giving someone else sage advice, and they're always saying, this is not going to end how you think it's going to end. And I think that's what's happening right now. People are trying to predict based on what they thought was going to happen, based on their ideals or their idealism. And I just want you to know it's not gonna end how you think. It's not gonna end how you think. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about the news because it's depressing. I don't know. Did you boycott? Did you participate? Did you agree with it? What are your thoughts on USAID, USAID? The cuts. What are your thoughts on the Zelensky and Trump confrontation that they had on the news? Anyway, share your thoughts. And we are about to get into a discussion, the final discussion, part 3 of my discussion with Denzel Godwire. You love Batman. You're
all-time great. All-time great.
Okay. And so we were talking about Batman and which movies were the best Batman movies. And I was of the opinion that it was the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. Mm-hmm. And You asked me if I had seen the Christian Bale ones, and
Yes.
could at the time I said no because I could not recall if I had seen them.
Right.
I definitely was not for Ben Affleck one.
Right.
Okay.
I understand that.
But I said my assignment was I was going to go watch the Christian Bale Dark Knight Rising,
Eternal Dark Knight. I think
Begins, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know I watched all three.
What is it?
And I set up a thing as how I was going to rank the Batman movies.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you which is, in my opinion, but first I'm going to go down my analysis.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, as not a fan, but just a consumer, I do appreciate the Batman people, okay?
Right.
One thing I have to remember is that I actually did see all of them except for the Heath Ledger one. And while I was watching it, I was like, I remember this.
Okay.
Right? One with Katie Holmes.
Okay.
And then the third one.
Okay.
I remembered as well. But I didn't remember how it ended. So how it ended, I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Okay. So this is how I evaluated. How dark was Gotham? Like literally, what was the mood? Mm-hmm. How Gotham was Gotham. Mm-hmm. And, because I remember the mood of the Michael Keaton ones was it was dark even in the daytime.
Yep.
Like it looked like it was always about the thunderstorm.
Yep.
And the Christian Bale ones, not so much. Mm-hmm. Like it was looking like daytime in the daytime, and I was like, "This is not giving me the mood I want."
Okay.
Gotham.
Okay.
Flick.
Okay.
Two, how if Batman stayed in character the entire time? Like, is he Batman even when he's Bruce Wayne?
Okay.
Like because Michael Keaton was Batman to me even when he was Bruce Wayne, and when he was Batman, he was still Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Right. Whereas Christian tend to go in and out. His like he intentionally was changing his voice, right? But also there are times when he had the moodier voice, the deeper, so-called deeper voice, where it felt like he was going in and out of it.
Okay.
Like there were moments.
Okay.
Where I was like, oh, your throat is irritated, right? So I was like, okay, but he did okay though. He was much better than Ben Affleck.
Of course.
Everybody was better than Ben Affleck. Okay.
I'm not finna throw Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
I'm not finna drag him under the mud.
But he was that
nice.
Okay. The only thing that saved Ben Affleck was the plots. Okay.
But at the same time.
But anyway. It's not even on the list. His movies are not even on the list.
I gotta support my boy Ben because he didn't.
And then the third criteria was the villains.
Okay.
Were the villains villaining?
Okay.
Were they giving me what I needed as a villain? Was I getting my life? I have to tell you that the Joker was the best of the two. I actually think that they made those movies out of sequence. They should have put the third one second and rejudged that story.
I get what you're saying.
And made the Joker the last.
I get what you're saying.
Because it was a better story. I mean, he was causing some chaos.
Yeah.
He was chaotic. I loved every moment of his chaos, and his jokes were better.
I get it.
His jokes had better timing. The first one was just a miss.
I'm gonna say it like this. I feel like remember, this is the. If I'm doing it correctly, this is the first Batman to have a 3 parts. I think every other Batman only had 2. So it was, I guess, in their expectation was like, all right, Batman never went past in every era of every from Michael Keaton to even what's the guy name? I can't think of his name. He did the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
That one. That only went to 1,
right?
So nothing never went past 2.
2 before.
So I
can't recall when Heath Ledger passed away.
Yeah.
If that had something to do
that passed
with the
right
story.
After the movie. Like
Which one? The joke, the one where they did the Joker by himself, or
no. That wasn't him.
Oh, that wasn't him.
That wasn't him. The one that he did, the Joker.
Yeah.
That wasn't him.
Who was that?
Wasn't Heath Ledger.
I haven't seen it.
That was a new one. I forgot the new actor name too. But
okay, all right. Well, then never mind. I'm seeing. Okay.
But I feel like they never thought that the second sequel of Batman will be that much better.
That one was the one.
So
my only complaint about that one is that if they took it too long.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, why is this movie still going? They could have, they kept adding these twists.
Yeah.
That I was like, y'all could have ended this 30 minutes ago. Y'all didn't have to string this. That's my biggest complaint about all of those movies, though.
I get you.
It's my complaint about Marvel movies, all of them.
I guess
so all the superhero movies, they are always 30 minutes longer than they need to be. And I realize they got to edit.
I guess because that, when it comes to the movies of the Batmans, the Supermans, the Spider-Mans, we know their story. Yeah. We know Spider-Man, he went on a field trip, got bit by a spider, boom, Spider-Man. We know about Superman, his planet died, he got shipped off, went to Earth, got on the farm, boom, and he had to learn his power with Batman. He went to a theater, his parents got killed by a robber, now he trying to...
We know.
So we kind of know, we kind of blah, blah. So I guess they're trying to give us... they're trying to all right, since y'all already know that story, let's kind of get him something that y'all don't know.
And I realize they're also introducing it to a whole new generation. So they do have to tell the story. But at the same time, it's my issue wasn't as much the first half as it is when it goes into the second half. It's like, why are y'all... I'm about to make a sports analogy. Let me not make a sports. It's like you're running the ball. Stop running the ball. Throw it. Can you throw it? Can you go ahead and just be done? Because I don't understand why y'all keep doing it this way.
But guess what? You need to answer that. It's the thrill.
No, man,
it's
no.
The excitement behind it.
And let me tell you, I enjoyed the second one.
Yeah,
I really did. I was like, by the third twist, I was like, how much chaos can this man bring upon y'all?
But
by the time they started burning the money, when he burned the scene where he was burning the money, I was like, y'all, this movie could have been done.
But then at the time, it was like,
and then you got him on the fair. You got
to do that. That was the biggest plot plan. Because even that story,
I know they needed the fairy information.
He needed to show because
communities change.
Because his story was the Joker's story was that I can make the most innocent, the most prolific person turn mad. Correct,
and he failed. He failed, and I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is that they didn't let him. They didn't blow each other up. But they didn't. They didn't.
Still won.
But he with the Harvey character. But I also didn't like that character development. That character development didn't make any sense. Why is he Two-Face? I said that one event. I said one person makes him flip like that. And they weren't even married. I said, yeah. I was just like one person. As much as he was a prosecutor who had been through a lot already, right? Or he was the golden boy of prosecutors. He was not afraid of all these criminals. Right. And then he has one, mind you, it's a tragic event, and he was talking to her on the phone. But I just didn't see how that by itself would flip him into Two-Face.
Because I'm assuming that
it was a heck of a jump.
Because when I know for the story that because with Harvey Dent, he was what Bruce Wayne, Batman, that what he want him to be. Because remember, he said that I'm gonna be a hero, or I'm gonna live long enough to see myself become a villain. And I feel like that what Bruce was saying to himself, like I'm doing this Batman thing, but where is it getting? Where like my symbolic being Batman is I want people to start standing up for themselves and start putting these people that's in this bad place with power and show them that they could come back to being human too. Right. So he see that Harvey Dent is being Batman without the mask. He's not afraid to go after these bosses. He's not afraid to go after these mob bosses, these criminals and stuff like that. That people these mob.
But he also wasn't afraid of taking credit of limelight, and that's the problem.
And he wasn't afraid to do that. He was
but that was more ego than anything else.
That too.
On his side, I just didn't see how I understood who Harvey was. I just didn't see his character development flipping into evil that quickly, where he was so angry with everybody. I can understand him being angry with the Joker.
I think because that with Harvey Dent, with him having this ego and everything, the ego he was blinded by the people that he thought that was on his side. Because remember, even though it took Yeah, it took the love of his life to die, but it took the people that thought it was on his side to help. He thought at first, it was the Joker doing, but then Joker told him, no, I had cops helping me. I had people that you thought that was on your side. They was helping me doing this. Mm-hmm. And that's what made him Two-Face, because it's like, yo, like...
It was misplaced, though.
You think so?
I think his anger was still misplaced.
No, it was still in the mindset of, they killed my wife, but
Joker was responsible for his fiance's death.
But he had,
okay?
it
was the whole. In that case, for that reason alone, he might as well have just been mad at himself.
Yeah.
Because even his actions led to that result.
Yeah.
Everything was a consequence of. It was a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Everything. The Joker had it.
It was planned from the beginning. It was planned from the beginning.
But the character of the Joker was great. So of those three,
yes.
I have to say it was what is it? Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
It was just Dark Knight.
It
right?
was Dark Knight. Yeah, Dark Knight. Return of the Dark Knight.
Because Dark Knight Rises was the last one, right? So it's the Dark Knight.
The Return of the Dark Knight. Dark Knight, and I think the Dark Knight Rises, something like that. Yeah.
So, because it was like Dark Knight Begins or something like that. Anyway, the second one with Heath Ledger, Joker was the best out of the three.
Yes.
They could have left Katie Holmes off of the whole script. The best thing about all three was Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah.
He was a constant.
Yes.
Alfred's character, I don't know him with his name. I said they were constantly great. They were consistent. They landed all their lines. The guy who played Gordon was good. The worst of all of them was Katie Holmes. I don't know why. I don't even begin to understand the point of what was the young lady who ended up being the villain in the last one?
You talking about the Catwoman?
Not Catwoman.
You talking about she was the actual she was part of
the one who actually got out of the jail.
Yeah, she was part of that. If I'm saying this wrong, because in my mind, I think she was part of Ra's al Ghul.
Yes. That whole thing.
I think she was the
I didn't
daughter.
like that whole storyline. I'm sorry, Batman. Because I saw her coming from a mile away.
And to get it, I want to get the listeners right, because I am a Batman fan. I'm gonna be saying, how you a Batman fan? He don't know the order. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. That's the go. I want to make sure. I'm sorry, Batman fans. I'm old. I'm trying to get it right. But yeah.
So if I had to rank them, it would be The Dark Knight first, Dark Knight Rises, and then Batman Begins.
I said the same thing. That's my top in order. That's my favorite. That's my order.
Yeah. But out of all Batmans, it's still gonna be Michael Keaton and the Joker, the Jack Nicholson for me. And he should have let him in Dark Knight Rises. Mm-hmm. No, The Dark Knight, the second one. He should have let the Joker die. He caught him and was like, "You're gonna spend the rest of your life in the insane asylum." He should have let him die.
You can't. Batman, Bruce Wayne have a no killing policy. That what makes him.
He didn't kill him. He fell and he died.
And the real Batman would have got his own projectile and got what he did in Heath Ledger. Got him with his leg and brought him. Cause remember, he was do the same thing.
He was about to do the same thing, and I think they were paying homage too. Yes. I think that's what they were doing.
And he was about to die, but he got him because he have a no killing policy. Because that what makes us different from the good and the bad. That's Batman in totality. That's why people still to this day is mad about Batman. Even when I get in an argument with Batman, Batman ain't good because why he dealing with these villains, he beat them up, he do this, but he still let them go to jail. Because he has a no killing policy.
I understand. I respect
that.
I respect it too. He should have let him fall.
No.
That man was chaotic.
but it was art.
It was art. It was art. You are right. It was art. I was like, yo, he is pure chaos.
It was great.
Yeah, I did enjoy his chaos. I was like, wow, you are really doing the thing.
It was great.
It was good.
I told you that was.
It was good, and that one I had not seen. The other two I had, but that one I was like, how did I miss that one movie out of? But I'm glad I had not seen it to really truly enjoy the chaos that he was bringing.
And even if I think even the behind the scenes, like we talked about before with art and stuff, if you could just go and if you have a free time about the movie and then just go to behind the scenes of how they got into characters and stuff like that, it made the movie better. That's why God rest his soul, Heath Ledger. The process that he went to become the Joker, it was like, man, he really sacrificed his life.
So was that the one that you, like all of the Batmans together, which one did you rank? Would you rank all of them?
Like every single one of them?
Yeah.
The Heath Ledger Joker Batman, The Dark Knight, was the best Batman.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, I gotta go with my childhood. The very first Batman that I saw, like VHS, would be the Batman with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, because they gave the cartoonish live action, like you say with the Michael Keaton, it gave like everything was dark, but with the this Batman, I got it. George Clooney, boom, there we go. George Clooney.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot George Clooney was Batman.
George Clooney Batman, because this one had.
He must not have been too bad.
This one had majority of all the characters, because like you had
Poison Ivy.
Yes,
okay.
You had Robin.
Yes,
you had Robin.
I do remember that.
You now introduced, because you remember the Michael Keaton and the Kristen Bell, it was just the Dolo Batman.
It was the tights. As a matter of fact, and they had the costume that they always talked about with George Clooney.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then that Gotham had the neon lights. It
had the cartoonish vibe. He got a lot of flack for that costume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was like that was like my second favorite.
He had the one that the thing would move.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they referenced it in the movie, in the Christian Bale one, when they were like, because you gotta be able to turn your neck.
All the Batmans, they were like,
yeah.
I can't see me, but I was just turning my whole body. But yeah, so it was like that was nice to like have the Batman neck to move and everything. So yeah, the George Clooney was my second. My third, I could get my last one. My third is the I think it was Val Kilmer Batman. That's the one where Jim Carrey was the Riddler. What's his name? Tom. I think he played on Men in Black. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He played Two-Face.
Oh.
He played Two-Face.
Gosh, you're bringing up so. Now, see, I might have to go on a Batman binge and just go all the way from the very beginning and see all of them, so that I could do a true order.
Yeah. So
because I just did it based on the 3 and what I remember.
Yeah.
Right. But I completely forgot about those.
Like me being Batman head, because my uncle literally let me watch all the Batmans from the Michael Keaton. Well, Adam West being the first live action
the
Batman.
TV one.
Mm-hmm. And then you had the Michael Keaton, then you had Val Kilmer, then you had George Clooney, then you had the animated series, then they took decades off and then did the Kristen Bell and did Ben Affleck, and did Robert
so
Pattinson.
Unnecessary.
Listeners, I'm gonna say this: he didn't have his own movie, so don't get no flack. He didn't have his own movie yet, but he's not gonna have it though, so because he's not Batman no more. But
no, don't do it to us. We're not gonna come see it. I don't care how much money you put into it. What would it take for someone to go to a Ben Affleck led Batman movie at this point?
It's going to take the storyline that Marvel did. It's going to take, where is this? Is this going to be the truest DC universe without the whole we go stop and get new characters, or is this going to be the movies that's going to go to their version of the end game?
Yeah.
That's what DC needs. DC right now, just go ahead. Oh, I get it. We got these movies. Some was good, some was mid, some was trash, and majority was trash. We just need to go ahead and solidify the characters.
You gotta have the character development. You gotta have it.
But you gotta pick the right people too, because you can't have. I'm sorry, you can't have people like the Flash who were doing crazy stuff in his real life.
Listen.
And I was sad because he was a good Flash. He was a good young boy, funny and everything. He was a good Flash. And even if the Flash movie, you brought back Michael Keaton, so you brought back the old school, the audience and the new people. You did it right. But then you got him being in trouble. Now it make the movie. It's like DC cannot get everything together. And me as a sole defendant and the gatekeeper.
You're definitely a gatekeeper.
I'm doing my best.
I would not have went and watched those movies had we not had that conversation. I wouldn't have been thinking about watching those movies. Okay?
I got it.
Whereas I have watched the Marvels over and over and over and over and over and over, and over again. Like on purpose.
Because it's like Marvel did in a extreme greatness and changed the modern of movie films. They changed that and they brought in a new era. And it's like with DC, I feel like they let their egos get in the way, and they could have just said, no, let's be like artists. Good artists borrow, great artists steal. Let's let them have their run. We could throw little movies here and there. And
if they had made more of them, like what's the woman?
Wonder Woman.
Yes, the first one.
Yes.
I don't know if I was in love with the second one.
They could have did it. They could have said.
I wasn't really.
Yeah, they could have did like, okay, we're gonna make Wonder Woman copy Captain America. We're gonna make Batman copy Iron Man. We're gonna make Superman copy Thor. Oh yeah, they just copying Marvel. So
doesn't matter.
They made 70 million. We made 70 million.
That I could go with. And because for me to like what's the one? The Squad.
Suicide Squad.
More than a Superman movie is crazy. What it is, I also think that they didn't explain these characters well.
They did it.
You have to explain them to the people who are not reading the comic books. Marvel explained it to the people who are not reading the comic books to the point where we read some of the comic books. I'm including me.
You're right.
Because I was not a comic book fan.
You're right.
But I began to like the franchise so much that I actually visited comic book stores.
But they did it right, because like the average viewers that don't do Marvel, they just know. If I tell an average person outside right now, like what Marvel superhero you like before the movie, they would be like Spider-Man. That's that's the only one they know, because he's the most popular superhero of the Marvels. But like you say, they introduced Captain America, they introduced Iron Man, they introduced Thor,
and they did it in every single movie.
And they did it great. And then not only that, so was the original Avengers.
Yeah.
DC did that in cartoons. DC had the first group of heroes. They did it way before comic books Avengers. They had Super Friends.
I remember.
Why they did Justice League? It was Super Friends before Justice League. And guess what? They did Black Adam, Shazam, but we didn't get no Green Lantern. We didn't get.
They did Flash dirty and Green Lantern dirty.
Yes. They didn't even do the Warner Twins.
I actually think that Wonder Woman could have even been better. The whole foundation could have just been better if they would just explain who these people are. Don't make us guess who they are when they're coming on the screen. Explain them so that I could fall in love with the characters and who they are.
And then DC got more range than Marvel.
Like, help me to care. Like I care about Scarlett Johansson's character.
Right.
Help me to care about that girl who's an assassin.
And mind you, think about this.
Like, doggone, she was a whole assassin and I cared when she died.
I have a hot take.
What's the hot take?
I think Disney is flopping with their recreation of their classic movies to live action. They're flopping.
Oh yeah. No, they're all flops.
They're flopping.
Every single one.
Except for the villains. The villains are good.
No, yeah, Maleficent, excellent.
Great.
Right? First of all, I love Disney villains.
Okay.
I love Disney villains more than I like.
So you like the whole where they're kind of giving the point of view of the villains? You like that?
I do. I like the development of villains.
Okay.
I used to have a shirt that says I'm a Disney villain in real life.
Okay. So who would you say your top 3 all-time Disney villains?
Maleficent is number 1.
Okay.
Can Maleficent be number 2 and 3 as well? Ursula is number 2.
Okay.
Because the girl had a contract.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
Y'all can't be mad at somebody with a contract who's just smarter than you and move faster. How about y'all just adhere?
That's facts.
And okay, so Maleficent, Ursula. Oh. Craig! What is her name? She was so stupid. Not her, but Crunk. Crunk was the assistant. I don't know why I like him so much.
Okay.
He is stupid. He made me laugh. Not the actual villain, but the villain's assistant.
Okay.
Even though in the end he ended up being a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like you say. Yeah. So I would say.
Okay, but if I have to pick a villain. It's Maleficent again. I just really love Maleficent. I love her storyline.
Okay.
I love that.
I would say mine's not in order. These are just my 3. Maleficent is in there. She definitely in my top 3. Jafar. I got him in there because it was like.
So Jafar's number 2?
No, I'm saying I ain't put him in order. I just got them in my top, my favorite 3. Well, I said that, but yeah. So Jafar and Melissa could go 2 or 3. But my number 1, nobody can touch it. My number 1, Scar. And now learning his backstory.
Oh, I didn't see the backstory, but I've seen some comments on it that it's like, well, he had a reason to be mad, you know.
He's permanently cemented, nailed to the wall. My favorite Disney.
But you don't like the live action.
No.
But the story was good, but the live action was bad.
The Lion King were all of it was bad. I think the best live action movie of Disney, regardless of villain, superhero or hero, was Maleficent. And if I had to give it to the original like hero type thing, will be Aladdin.
Thank you for joining me today for this very fun conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a laugh or two. What do you think about DC Comics, Disney villains, all the things? Which movie do you love? Which ones can you watch over and over and over again? And which do you wish would go away and never return? Comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time.